I have been given eviction notices twice in my life, and both times it was on my birthday. Yeah, I'm telling that story a few days to my birthday because my birthday is on the 19th of Feb. And yeah, my birthday has done this thing to me that made me believe for a long time that my birthday is cursed. I'm trying to change that narrative, and I've been meaning to give this story a while now, for weeks now. I've been meaning to give this story, and finally here's that story. I will be giving the first scenario, or rather my first experience of getting an eviction notice in this video, and then on part 2 I will also talk about the lessons learned and how it was a different experience, you know. Yeah, here goes. Also, let me know what you think about this look. I had so much fun creating this. I cannot wait to see how the pictures turn out. This is very easy to do, even though I'm not talking about how I'm creating the look in this video. You will see how I sort of built up to this final look. Okay, leave me a comment, like, share my work, subscribe, support me. It means a lot to my YouTube channel. I will always be saying this. Also, if you've been in a similar situation, let me know. And with no further ado, my name is Jabiwaga Shero, or you can call me Anna Montez, and this is how I got evicted on my birthday. No, almost got evicted on my birthday. Whew, two different things. Oof, I have not been evicted though. This story dates back to a time when I was very naive and I was trying to sort of understand how life works. I was in campus and I was in Kenyatta University. So if you've been to Kenyatta University, you know KM. For a long time, okay, not a long time, was it a couple of months? I lived in KM until I needed to move. So I moved to Ruiru. And I moved to Ruiru because I knew our school department was going to move to Ruiru, and I was doing theater arts and film technology. So I looked for I was looking for a nice house in Ruiru, but I was so unfortunate. During that time, I wasn't so fortunate. So first I ended up in a crappy house, and when I say crappy house, I mean the worst the worst kind of house you could ever find. Unfortunately, because I didn't have any experience back then about moving, what to look for, I just needed a place to stay, and I knew for sure I just needed some simple space. And I got something simple and was within my budget. That was like 6,000 shillings, was it, for a bed sitter. And these buildings, I will never forget them. They're called the Dew. My goodness, the houses were incomplete. Ziko zimemalizika kujengwa. So they were sad. They were sad and pathetic. Like, there's no proper way of explaining to you how bad these houses were. So the day after I moved in, you want to know what happened? So I moved in. Back then I didn't have a mattress. I had sort of done some barter trade with one of my friends. I gave her, was it a meza? And then she gave me I think I gave her 2 mezas. She needed 2 mezas and she had like a full 7-seater. So she gave me the 3-seater. So at least I had a seat, but I had no bed, and it's a bed sitter. The house was so incomplete, and I moved in with my stuff. Venye tu nilikuwa nimezipack vitu za kitchen. I had very kidogo things, like I had just things you absolutely need, and I had my laptop because my laptop was now my baby. So I moved in, and the room was, I remember the smell. It's, you know, the smell of dampness and construction, wetness, some unhealthy smell there, moldish kind of smell. That was the smell in that house. It's so sad. It's so sad when I look back and I remember. It's just, oh my God. I had hardly spent one day in that house. I had not even spent two nights. Just on the first night, my first night in that house, guess what happened? Kukanyesha. Kukanyesha, I didn't even hear the rain. I was asleep. I dozed off on the couch as I was watching a movie. So kukanyesha, I have no idea. And then in the morning I woke up. So nimeamka and I went to put my feet down on the floor, and guess what? Maji mob. I could not believe it. Mattress yangu, because the house is small, so kuna entrance, kumbe kumenyesha, mlango yangu iko na space hapo chini. This nyumbas bado are under construction. In fact, we're building, we're like 3 people. Yeah? Lord. Anyway, kulinyesha, maji kaingia tu chini ya mlango. There was a bit of some space over there kuweka kitu ya kuziba maji from getting in. Maji kaingia, mattress yangu ikasoak everything up. My laptop was saved because I slept on the couch, so my feet were up and I dozed off on the couch holding onto my laptop. So I saved my laptop, but my whole house was a mess. So I had just paid my rent. I have moved in. Nimepeana rent na deposit. I have nowhere else to go. My house is flooded. I don't even know how to get half of the water outside. I cannot even unpack things because I hadn't unpacked anything. And I wanted to move out immediately. So what do? Ana tafutana na nani? Na landlord. Utampata? Nah. I didn't. This guy, my God, alinizungusha, my friends, alinizungusha. So you can imagine my dilemma. I had just moved into the house, and then it's flooded now. Now I need to give a notice that I'm moving out. I have to get to the landlord. I have to ask him why his houses are so pathetic. But then again, I understand it's my fault. But then that was what was within my budget. And then I realized I cannot live under such conditions. So I was looking for the landlord so that he can give me back my money and so that I can move out and find another house. But since this landlord was doing such an amazing job running away from me, all he did was give me like 6,000 shillings, which was nothing compared to the damage that had befallen my things, everything that I owned. I kept things in bags. It was the rainy season, mvua iko inaisha, so my clothes were never drying. My utensils were moldish, everything was moldish. And I didn't have a choice. I could not tell my family because I had just started living outside. I had insisted that I need to live outside. I had pushed myself to that point where I want my parents to believe that I'm okay, I can do this by myself, like I'm good. And since I was pushing that, I could not expose that my life was falling apart. So now we're moving closer to getting the eviction notice. OMG. So I stayed in this pathetic house for a whole month before I could move, because where else was I gonna go and where was I gonna get the money from? I don't have a job. I'm a student. I don't even know much. I don't know anything. I was just out in the world and trying to figure it out, and I was failing. Or rather, this is what I felt. I felt like I was failing terribly. I was not patient with myself. I was cussing myself a lot, and I should have been kinder, but that's all I knew. I knew everything was just collapsing. I was just so drained. If you knew me back then, you'd sort of have sensed it. But it seems like my classmates did not sense anything out of it. I think I hid it well. But I didn't want to hide anything. I just wanted to live just a normal life. I really wanted just a normal life. So anyway, I went house hunting and I was lucky to find, I want to say, a neighbor. Like there was a house nearby. Just I could see the house from my house, like from outside my corridor. I could see the house, and I went, saw the house. It was a 1-bedroom house for 6,500. 1-bedroom house for 6,500 shillings. I was like, what a deal! I love this. And the guy praised the house, and he told me, oh, huku hata kukosangi maji nini network tu ndio mbaya nini. I was like, this is the deal. He showed me around. He told me he's moving end month. He also told me the house near agent. I didn't know what that meant at that point. And he told me it's easy. Utanipea, was it 9,000 shillings? Yeah, 9,000 sijui hiyo 6,500 plus deposit. My margin and stima, I don't know. I can't remember these things. And And I was like, you know what, deal, I can raise that money. So I raised the money, I gave the guy, and the plan was end month, yeah, okay, mimi ningie. And I moved in. I was beginning to love my new life. You know, I was not expecting anything. Days had passed, took a mid of Feb. It was now date 19th. I remember that day I had an event. I was performing a poetry event at Poetry at the Park. That's Bomb Blast. So back then I was a spoken word artist, and I absolutely enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing this. So I had an exam, and then I was later in the afternoon going to go to that event and perform. But just as I was about to leave the house, just right when I was about to leave the house, tukapatana na umse, this guy, stone face, like he had this face. He looked angry, he looked bitter with life. And he was like, where is the owner? I was like, I'm the owner. What do you want? How can I help you? He's like, no, you're not the owner. Are you the one who's in the papers, you know, like the formal papers? I was like, no, but the guy who was here told me that the guy could not have it. He was like, do you know you're trespassing? I was like, how could I be trespassing? I gave the other guy pesa. What are you talking about? I didn't know how agents work. I was naive. I'd never done this before. I was like, what is going on? I remember he said, this guy didn't care. He didn't even give me time to talk. And then I was so broke. And he was like, I give you until like 3 days to raise the money, otherwise tunakuja kukuchota vitu zako. I was like, mbona mnichote vitu, pesa zangu ziko na. Do you know how stupid I looked trying to explain that the money is with CG, God knows who and who, and they have moved, I don't know where, because I never got to know where this guy had moved to. I was boiling. So for a while, when I was living in that house, we were saying hi to each other because that guy had just moved close by. I was seeing him. Then he vanished when I told him that the agents came looking for their money. The guy vanished and he stopped calling my number. I think he stopped answering my number because I was telling him, now you have to give me back my money so that I pay these guys, and they tulia. Guy was not having it. He ghosted me and I had to figure things out by myself. Oh yes, I did go to my exam. And I can't remember how I did in that paper because all the time, the only thing I could think about was, what am I gonna do? And I remember looking at my teachers and thinking, should I ask them? And I was like, no, that's a desperate move. You should tell your parents. Tell mom, na daddy, just be honest, come clean, tell them you are dumb and you got lied to. And, you know, you say something, tell them everything. You know, because normally it's a norm for me. I'd go to my parents if I'm going through something, or, you know, my parents, my sisters, I had options, but I was too frightened to admit to them that, you know, I know I told you that I was gonna make it and I was gonna do this by myself, but I am not doing good at that. I didn't want to admit that to myself. What I didn't notice was that when I was thinking about who to tell, who to share this with, is one of my lecturers actually noticed that I was not okay. And I remember just getting done with the paper and I went to hand it over and he told me, Anna, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. He looked at me, he said, you're not fine. Go sit down, I'll get done with everyone else and you need to tell me what's wrong. I sat down. He got done, he collected the papers, time was up. And then he asked me to step out with him. So I stepped out. And he asked me, Anna, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. He said, you're not okay, Anna. You're a smiley girl, you're a happy girl, and this is not you. He told me, be honest with me. However bad you think it is, just know you can talk to me. Oh my God. I burst out crying. I burst out crying. I could not even speak. So no, at first I was okay. I was just crying and I opened up to him. So my lecturer got me out of the classroom, tukasimama hapo kwa pathways. So watu walikuwa wanapita hapo, and you know, we were talking in a low tone. And he told me, talk to me, Anna, talk to me, let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I told him, no, I'll figure things out. And he was very persistent, so I opened up and I told him everything. I told him, see, I was naive, this is what I did, it's my first time doing something as dumb as this. I was just so low. And then he just said, I will sort you, I'll give you the money, stop stressing now, I'll give you the money, I'll give it to you as a loan, and then you can pay within, he gave me a duration of time, and you won't believe what happened after that. I started wailing. I don't know where it came from, I just felt weak and I was crying, I was pouring. I was out of control. Alikuwa tu sasa, and I just keep quiet because now people were just passing and they're staring, and I didn't want to wail. I honestly did not want to wail. I didn't want attention on me. It's just feelings and emotions during such a critical time. And you know, the saddest part about all this is that 9,000 shillings is not and was not a lot of money, but since I did have it, it meant the world to me. I could not believe that I was going through this. Yeah, and at the same time, I knew that finances at home were a bit tight. I'm trying to prove to my parents that, you know, I got this. I am a big girl now. You can trust me to do things on my own. I feel it in my gut that I'm failing terribly. And then this guy, who to me now looks like an angel, I was like, and then, you know, I kept telling myself, I cannot have such a life. This is not how I'm supposed to live my life. I knew there are better ways of living, and this was not it. So now I got that sorted. Not sorted, because now I have to figure out how to raise the money. And I knew I could raise the money. I knew I could raise the money because I had like this side hustle. I used to make jewelries, and I would sell them around in school. But I wasn't doing it like, you know, I didn't put everything I had on the table. So I was like, if I pushed this, if I sold more pieces, then I'll raise the money and I'll give him back his money. I also knew I could raise the money by myself if I were to sell, but then I only had 3 days to raise the money and I was desperate. So when he said this, I just my heart just, I became weak. I think I became weak. I felt not so alone, and that made me sort of helpless. I also was feeling helpless. I mean, I had so many things to feel, and yeah, so after that I went to my event. I went to the event, but the thing is, I could not be present at my event. Reason being, when my lecturer said that he's going to give me the cash, he didn't have the cash on him. So we had to sort of find a way venye tutapatana, and then he's gonna give me the cash. And I don't know why we did think of M-Pesa, but this is 8 years back, so I don't know if M-Pesa was a thing then. I don't know. But M-Pesa did not cross our minds. So I went to the event. It was my turn to perform. Nikaenda stage, lines shoo zikaenda. Mimi niko blank stage, watu wananiangalia waiting for something. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. But yeah, it happened. I had a lot on my mind. Nikajambia na take it easy, it's okay. I was just meh. And then, as if I wasn't having the worst day of my life, kukaanza kunyesha. So when I got off stage, the lecturers tried calling me a couple of times. So lazima ni answer, nimwambie where I'm at, where do I meet you, kumeanza kunyesha. He's like, you know what, nimerudi KU, so where come KU. So ndio mimi huyo, it's getting dark now, so nikukimbia, niko tu kwa njia. Then KU, it's, if you haven't been to KU is big, it's so big. So by the time utoke gate ufike kwa hiyo tulikuwa tunazita aje, your school, oh my god, you'll walk. So nikatembea, nikaenda nikapata naye, he handed me the cash. again reminded me I have to pay the cash by a certain time, and so I did. After that, my agent akakuja tena with his angry face. I was like, here's your money, nini nini. He never gave me trouble after that. No, not really. I think, did I ever see that guy smile? Honestly, I can't remember. I remember back then I was feeling scared, broke, sad, devastated. It's almost like my life was not adding up, and I knew for sure this is not where I wanted to be, but I didn't know a way out, especially when the guy gave me like a few days, like 3 days to raise the cash. I was like, where am I supposed to get the money? Because I actually got 3 days, I mean, the next day, because I was panicking. And at that point, if you told me not to worry, I think I would have hit you, because all I knew at that point is that I'm losing everything and I have nothing. And I talked so harshly. I talked down onto myself. Oh my God, I shouldn't have. But now I've learned. I wasn't aware that years later a similar thing was going to happen to me, but at least the experience was different, and I will be able to give a contrast of the two scenarios maybe in the next video. But if you're going through a hard time, don't worry, there is something to learn from this, and my lesson is going to come in the next video, what I learned from this experience, which was so scary. But you know, you move and you survive, and God sends you angels, I would call them, and my lecturer was my angel. Yeah, and I'll forever be grateful if I didn't say that already. Anyway, this is the final look. I absolutely love how it turned out. Leave me a comment if you're in such a situation or similar situation, or have been through such a situation. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how your experience was like. Also comment on the look. Tell me if you like it. I figured if we are going to take this journey together, then you need to know bits about me so that we can sort of connect into the whole scope of who I am and the direction in which I'm taking, and maybe it will sort of give you perspective of where I'm coming from and where I'm headed. Anyway, this was fun, a bit scary because I'm putting my life out there, but I've been meaning to do this a while now. In fact, this video was supposed to go up weeks ago, but here it is. It's never too late, is it? Okay, see ya, bye. Like, subscribe, and share with love. You can call me Jabi Agashero or Anna Montez. Mwah.